Hello, bonjour, namaste, ni hao, and ohio everybody. What is going on? It is Galeriot here, and welcome back to the YouTube channel once again for another Danmachi Battle Chronicle video. And today, we are going to be going over the maintenance notice because yes, there is a maintenance coming right up. It's kind of funny that last week I talked about, how the game would only do data downloads for only certain updates. Well, turns out this upcoming update is a major one, and we are getting a 5-hour maintenance once again. If the game would allow me to actually go into the page, we are getting a 5-hour maintenance this week, of course, on the 19th of December, which is, of course, tomorrow on Tuesday. Of course, if you're watching this after the 19th, well, the maintenance has already happened, so thumbs up there. But yes, on the 19th of December, and for some of you guys, it'll probably be late evening, 18th December, we are getting a maintenance from 7 a.m. JST to 12 p.m. JST, noontime that is. So of course, in UK time, that would be around, I think, 11 p.m. British time to 3 a.m. British time. I say British time as if it's a time zone. GMT. That would be 11 p.m. GMT to 3 a.m. GMT. And then of course, if you're in America, that would be like 6 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern, and Pacific it would be 3 p.m. Eastern to 8 p.m. Pacific. Sorry, not Eastern. Pacific. 3 p.m. Pacific to 8 p.m. Pacific. But yeah, this maintenance is coming up because they are conducting the version 1.4 update. Before we get into it, of course, if you guys go on to enjoy this video, remember to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel for more Danmachi and Danmachi Battle Chronicle content, and let me know your thoughts on what's coming up in the upcoming update contents. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say down below. I think that, with what is coming up from what I've seen a little bit of, I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited because I think it's general improvements that I kind of wanted to see as well, especially with the most recent event and the most recent EX stage that dropped, of course, in the holiday event, of course, the Christmas event. So without further ado, let's get into it and let's see what's coming up in this upcoming update. So, first and foremost, scheduled update contents include a new Uncharted Battlefield, which again, this goes exactly in line with what I was saying a couple of weeks ago when we got the raid update. So I said in that video that basically what they're gonna do here from now on is that we're gonna get raids in the first half of the month, and then in the second half of the month they're gonna do Uncharted Battlefield. And I think that is a great decision because of course some game modes like score attack simply haven't received any form of updates at all. Again, I was kind of hoping that this update would be the one, but it turns out it is definitely not the one. I don't know what they're thinking with score attack. Maybe they think that, there's not enough player retention here, so there's no point in adding the stages or anything of that sort. But I feel like it's such a simple thing because all you have to do is take the event ranking from your previous events, copy paste it into this score attack, and all you need to do is just change the elements of the mobs, which shouldn't be too difficult, right? But I don't know why they're not updating the score attack stage, but I'm glad that at least Raids and Uncharted Battlefield now have like a sort of schedule to follow, right? Of course, I would have ideally liked it to be that both run at the same time on a 2-week basis, right? So 2 weeks of Raids plus Uncharted Battlefield, reset 2 weeks of Raid and Uncharted Battlefield again. Something similar like Battle Arena, right? Every 2 weeks it gets updated. Same thing here basically. I think it would have been fantastic. It would have been way more Selas for a lot of players, right? Because that would have been 6,000 Selas every 2 weeks, and across a month that would have been 12,000 Selas. Right now we're only getting 6,000 Selas. So we would have gotten, of course, double the amount of Selas if everything was running at the same time. Unfortunately, that's not the case here. It does seem like that they're going to be alternating between the two, which I still think is great. What I do hope for in this Uncharted Battlefield is for them not to add any sort of new stages. What I do hope is that maybe the stages are a little bit different, but I hope that they don't add any more stages just yet, because I feel it's too soon. It's too soon for them to add any sort of stages to Uncharted Battlefield, purely because we still don't have the roster to do more than 10 stages. At least this is my personal opinion. Maybe Wales can probably do 11 or 12 stages, but even they would struggle with like 15 stages or something. So what I do hope for is that right now, keep it at 10 stages, change up the enemies if possible, because I think it would be nice to be able to do something a little bit different. Maybe you have to employ a different strategy, maybe, you know, different field effects are on the play, and so on and so forth, different maps. We'll have to wait and see on how that changes, if it does change. I'm not holding out hopes, to be quite honest. I think it's gonna stay the same, exactly the same as it was in the first season of Uncharted Battlefield. But I think it would be fantastic if we were to get some new adjustments and changes to the enemies, and also along with that the map as well, or whatever it may be. At least the field effects, maybe the map itself can be still fine, but at least the field effects can change, the mobs can change, and so on and so forth. And I think it would be amazing. We'll have to wait and see, of course, and that will be, of course, tomorrow. I will probably make a video on it just as it drops, or when I come back from work. Most likely I will probably be making a video there. The next updated content that is part of this update is the addition of recommended missions. Now, I don't exactly know what this means necessarily. I assume this means that this is something that people will be recommended in terms of like, oh, you should probably do this, you should probably do this event mission or something like that, because I don't know. I actually don't know, because of course the only mission thing we have right now in game is this, right? The daily missions, weekly missions, free missions, and so on and so forth. So maybe it's something to do with this, is my guess. I don't know. It seems quite interesting. I hope maybe, if anything, it's an additional set of missions maybe that will allow us to get even more Salas. I think that would be fantastic. But this doesn't tell us a lot, so we'll have to wait until tomorrow's update to exactly see what we are getting here. This is going to be very interesting, to say the least. This is going to be very interesting to see if it's anything new or it's just a very general quality of life thing, because it can be one of the two. It can be something that's really new and, you know, interesting in the sense of like new ways to farm Salas or something, or it's a very general quality of life update that probably 90% of the players will ignore, to be quite honest. This is something that's been added in many other gacha games, and for the most part, in my personal experience and my personal interactions with other players, they tend to go unnoticed very quickly, to be quite honest. So I don't see this being a major thing, in all honesty. So now we move on to the main part of the update, it seems like, because this is, of course, I think the reason why it's such a major update. I don't think this is the reason why it's a 1.4 update, you know, going from 1.3 to 1.4. What I think they're doing here is very interesting and very positive changes, I feel, or very positive improvements, I should say. So improvements will be made to the display of the buff and debuff icons during battle to make them more visually appealing and easier to understand. Addition of visual effects when buff and debuff effects are activated. Adjustment of the icon size. Addition of the gauge showing the time left, which I think is fantastic. And then buff blue, debuff red. Addition of display of target attributes for inflicted damage icons. So I'm not sure about this necessarily. I assume this means that if it is a buff, it'll be a blue color, and if it's a debuff, it'll be a red color, which I think is, again, a positive change, allowing you to see if you're getting buff, debuff, whatever is happening, right? I think it's fantastic there. But what I'm really happy about is these two things in particular. This is also nice for sure, addition of visual effects, because of course when you're skill canceling, right, because there's a tactic in this game where you can skill cancel. Let me show you an example of it. Let me go into the ranking battle practice stage and try and show you guys an example of it with Haruhime, because Haruhime, I think, is my best example here, right? With Haruhime, right, there is a strategy in which you use her Q, her healing ability, with her skill 1. I call it Q because it's linked up with my Q button, of course, on my keyboard. But if I go over to Haruhime, right, and let's let it charge up quickly right here. I want to quickly do this, but I skill canceled. That's too early. I know that was too early, but I'm gonna show you guys how it would be like this. So now I have to wait until I see that healing icon to be able to move. Now in the future, what I hope is with this update is that we're able to tell exactly, you know, the buff is active, okay, skill cancel. And with the icons being bigger, it will allow us, the players, to have a better idea. It'll be more noticeable rather than you having to squint your eyes or anything of that sort. And not to mention also with the gauge addition, the timing of the gauges and everything, I think that will also be very, very positive, purely because that will give you an indication on when you need to reset your skill, right? When you need to bring back your skill up. You don't need to do it immediately. You know, you don't need to do it with 10 seconds to go. You can do it with 3 seconds to go, 2 seconds to go, to reset it back up, basically, in order to have that maximum uptime. I think these battle UI improvements are going to be quite important in the grand scheme of things. I think a lot of people may not think of these as major additions or major improvements, but in all honesty, I think that this is going to be very positive, and I cannot wait to see exactly what they have in store for us when it comes to further improvements with other things, because I think these improvements and changes are very nice. I think they're doing a good job. Again, while these updates aren't you know, overhauling things consistently, you know, it's not just massive overhaul after massive overhaul. It's not like they're doing like 50 things in one update. What they are doing is they're making sure that these updates and improvements are coming over at a regular rate, right? Again, you know, things like the changes to the gacha system, very small, very minor. Probably not a lot of people may think of them as you know, crazy updates or anything of that sort, but I still maintain that the way they've gone about it is still very positive and in the right direction. A free multi every banner, you know, the 80 pity. Yes, could they have done the 80 pity a bit better? Absolutely, no doubt about it, but it is a chance, and I've been seeing people get these units. Of course, there is a chance to not get them as well, but you know, for the most part, there you get these units, right? And then furthermore, all these additions of like Uncharted Battlefield as well, and you know, the upgrade quests, I think they are fantastic. Do they still need improvements? Absolutely, like I said, right? Absolutely, they do need improvements. But what I am excited for is just the direction they're going in, more so than anything else, because you keep improving the game and then there is a chance that there is going to be better player retention. Of course, bringing back the players you lost is going to be nigh impossible, but what you can do is try and keep the players that you have right now still interested, keep them interested and keep them engaged in some way, shape or form. So hopefully that will happen. Of course, along with that, by the way, I should also mention is that they are removing the freeze effect from monsters in the ranking battle practice in tomorrow's update. Of course, if you guys didn't know, one of the biggest issues we've been facing in the most recent ranking battle stage, of course, given in the Christmas event, is that the lions are consistently freezing you. It is one of the most annoying effects I've ever dealt with in any game mode in this game, and I am glad it's going away. If you see any of my runs during my live streams or in my previous video or anything of that sort, you can see that I am stuck being frozen for about 15 to 20 seconds of the run, basically, right? And unfortunately, that is effectively about a tenth of, if not, yeah, literally about a little bit less than a tenth of the time we have. So if we go into the stage, I think it's like starting at 3 minutes. And literally 3 minutes, 20 seconds of 180 seconds. It is literally, yeah, like almost 10% of the time I am stuck being frozen, which is causing me to lose immense amount of time of fighting these enemies and gaining a tremendous amount of points. Yeah, we start at 3 minutes. So like, I really do hope that with the freeze deletion, it becomes a lot easier to get a higher score, which it should be. Of course, some people may not see a big difference because maybe you got lucky with the freeze and stuff, right? But yeah, I think it's a major issue. Now, a lot of people may say that, oh, but the last ranking event had knockback and stuff, right? Well, in that regards, we had the item that gave knockback resistance. You had Otaro that also gave knockback resistance. The main summonable unit literally had knockback resistance. And also you had, I think, a couple of other units that would help out with that as well. So in that situation, it wasn't as bad. But in this case, you know, we don't have any freeze resistant units. So once we got frozen, we got frozen. So yeah, it's not going to be nice to be able to actually do the ranking event without fearing of me losing a lot of time. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the update. A bit of a shorter update for sure. It seems like even though we have a 5-hour maintenance, but I think the improvements are very interesting and I cannot wait to do the new season of Uncharted Battlefield. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please be sure to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.